where the fuck did you guys learn how to play guitar? Because this is fucking insane. Like I'm listening to it, and from day one, obviously you have the classical styles that are in there, the jazz. I mean, you're really pulling from every virtuoso who's ever done it and meshing it all into like one or two guitar players here. You guys are prolific musicians. How did it all start for you too?
I would say that's a pretty good description, Scott, right? Like grabbing all the virtuoso players and putting it into one thing
Yeah,
where
actually.
because like a lot
All
of
right, well,
a
the
lot of
interview's done. I already nailed it. See you guys. Thanks so much for
yeah,
being here.
a lot of our style, like at the beginning when we first started playing together, Scott and I were in high school, and at that time in our, guitar playing careers, as high schoolers, we had developed the skills of dad guitar playing and death metal guitar playing. So like those two specific styles of playing, like that's what we knew. We
Wait,
both
what
knew
was that
that.
first one? Maybe the internet broke up there a little bit. Did you say dad style of playing?
Yes, dad style playing.
What is dad style?
Okay, exactly what it sounds like. It's when a dad shows you how to play guitar,
Okay.
and you're playing dad licks. Like for example, Scott, one of the first records that we ever learned by ear was Black Sabbath, right?
Yeah,
Paranoid.
Paranoid, more
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah.
Wow,
Like
fucking
just on
incredible
separate
record.
timelines. Like, I was 10 years old, Scott, you were what, 10 or 11?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like just separately, both of our dads showed us Black Sabbath, and then we started learning Paranoid by ear. And so, like, that is honestly such a wonderful thing. That record is such a wonderful thing for a beginner guitar player, because, lots of cool sounding riffs and they're easy to figure out. And so there's a lot of like um, gratification and
Mm.
satisfaction as a new player there.
I gotta
And so, yeah,
say, in so many ways, Tim, though, I don't mean to cut you off, but in so many ways, you just insulted like a whole generation saying it's easy and everything. Guitar players, we used to, I gotta tell you, man, we used to listen to the Paranoid album thinking, damn, Tony Iommi's got it. Like, this is fucking insane, which he does, of
well,
course. But
yeah, no, that's how we
you're
felt.
talking
That's
more chops, when you're talking about writing that stuff, though, and how prolific it was. I mean, Black Sabbath, fucking give it to them.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, that's how we felt when we listened to those records. That's why we wanted to learn it, was because
Yeah.
it's, those guitar parts are like incredible, and they're cool as hell, and they make sense on the fretboard. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like it's like there's a clear path to follow, like in the way the fingers move in relation to the fretboard. Um so yeah, I mean, like and Scott and I have all the respect for everything that like Black Sabbath has done, and that's, like I said, why we wanted to learn the music, because it was sick as fuck.
Yeah.
But as a beginner guitar player, I do think that like it's a great, like, you can hear that because there's a lot, most of the riffs are pentatonic, right? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it's just a great starting point if you want to learn something by ear, and you're just starting out with guitar. Black Sabbath's Paranoid is like a great one to go with. Like, how many people's first riff is like Iron Man, right?
Oh yeah, when you first pick up the guitar, it's definitely
Mm-hmm.
one of the ones you want to learn. And maybe you don't learn the whole first riff, but you definitely grab that open E past the bridge and just pull it down to get that. Ow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's one of the
Um.
first things you do. You plug in a guitar and you got the distortion rolling, and you're like, "What kind of sounds can I make?" Oh yeah, the Iron Man thing before
Yes. Yeah.
before
Iron Man
Ozzy
is one of the
declares
most
it.
iconic riffs ever.
There's something
Um.
so magical about the power chord, you
Yes.
Oh
know?
yeah,
Yes.
And that whole
absolutely.
riff is just power chords.
Dude, it's so
The riff
strong.
is so strong that the vocal melody just follows it, but
Literally that.
almost the
Literally
entire
that.
thing. Like that's
So good.
incredible.
Um, yeah, the fifth though, like from that power chord, like it brings like a sense of like finality, and like, there's no other like colors that it could be. It just locks it into the one and the five.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it's just fucking awesome. But anyways, so like dad licks, right? And then also Scott and I were really into like Whitechapel and Job for a Cowboy and Despised Icon and fucking like all these like crazy ass bands. Like who else? Like Beneath the Massacre, like
Oh yeah,
the
gotta run.
Faceless, like yeah,
Damn.
just like all
Yeah.
these like super heavy, like crazy
Tim,
bands.
do you remember In Hell Followed With?
Fuck yeah, hell
They
yeah,
just put out a new song.
really.
Yeah, that's
Who
why I
is
was
this?
thinking about
I
them.
feel I feel so out of the loop here, guys. Like I knew about 2 of the 10 bands you just named off before you fucking went off on this tangent.
Which ones did you know?
I don't even know. The Buried.
It's really Job for a Cowboy, right?
Yeah, I've heard of
yeah.
them. I'm not super familiar though. Like you guys, like I could hear in your guys' music. You've obviously listened to, everything under the sun and newer shit that I know we called them
Dude.
dad licks, but those were kid licks when I was growing up. So
Oh yeah.